Welcome to this course of free C++ from basic to advanced. And today I'm going to give you the overview of what you're going to learn and the very first lesson, that is starting off with C++. Now this course will offer from basic to advanced. So if by chance, if you know nothing about coding, still you will be able to figure out what is happening and it will go to the very advanced. The very first topic would be that how to run C++ code, or from where should we run the code? How should we write the code? So there are various ways to do that. If you have an online option, I can show you that as well. For example, there are certain websites, like for example, one is this one, where you can directly do the code. Just simply start create, choose the language. It's called as REPL it. If you have never seen this website before, you just have to type this particular thing in the browser and you can simply use this simple website. If by chance you need an offline one, which is the better choice because you can simply download in your computer and you can simply use it anytime, even if you don't have internet. It's called as C free. Simply type C free and you can download from anywhere you feel like. It's a very wonderful software where you can do the coding. I have already downloaded it. We don't need any kind of internet in order to run the code. So we are starting off with C++, that is, will do the very first piece of code. And generally when we start any programming language, we start with the program Hello World. But the main problem is that even if I write the code of Hello World, you may not understand what is happening over here. So I'll go line by line, what exactly is happening. So when it comes to C++, the very first thing we give is a hashtag. Then we write include. And we write iostream.h. Now, what does this particular line means is that we don't say hashtag in C++. It is called as a preprocessor directive. What does it mean? Is that we are including one library file into our program. The name of the library file is called iostream. And iostream, if I have to write the full form of it, it is called as input output stream. So generally, for example, if any kind of input or output kind of statement you're going to write in your program, we have to use this library file. Otherwise, it will not work. I will even show you with that with an example. After we have included a library file, we will write using namespace std. Now, this particular line is completely optional, but I would highly recommend you to give this. The reason also I will explain you as well. Next part, which is even more important, is the main function, which is called as int main. This is probably the most important line because that is the main function of the program. And one point you can note down here, if you're noting it down, that main function will be there in all C++ program, irrespective of what kind of program you're making, because main function runs the main statements of the code. Whatever you're writing inside it, that comes under the main function. Now, the very first program, as I said, that we're printing hello world, or you can print your name or anything like that. So what I'm going to write is we're going to write C out. The full form of C out would be console out. So C means console and out means output. And then we're going to give this bracket over here. And then we're going to give double quotes. And you can write anything inside it. Let me write hello C++ program. And we're going to give a semicolon. Now this semicolon is given in order to tell that this is the end of this particular line and you can terminate this line on this particular point. So after semicolon, if you write something, that will considered be as an error. So semicolon means that particular line has been ended over here. Now, one point you can note that semicolon is not given in every single line in C++. Like for example, you will not see a semicolon in the header file. This is called as the header file. And you will not find a semicolon in the main function. But other statements, mostly you're going to find a semicolon just to tell that this particular line has been terminated or end over here. Next thing we're going to write is returned 0. Now, why do we give return 0? Now, it's a very important concept over here that when you write a main function or a simple function, if you learn in any programming language, its job is to return something. Now, if in our main function, we simply need to print this thing to our console. That's why I have written console out hello C++ program. So basically, when I'm going to run this code, this thing will print, but I don't need anything in return from this function. So I have said that when you are writing this particular code, here int is given. Whenever you have this integer thing, which is called as a data type, which we're going to learn in the future classes, data type of int always has to return something when it is used in a function. So since it's a main function, it should return something. but we don't have anything or we don't want anything for this function to return to us. So I'm writing, you can return something, but return 0. That means don't return me anything indirectly. In some compilers, if by chance you don't give this, still it will work. But I would suggest you that you definitely have to give a return 0. It's a bit good practice for that. Now, if I run the code, there's so many ways to do it. I have a green color play button over here, or I can press the F5 in my keyboard. And as you can see that it has printed hello C++ program. It's very simple. And I can do different experiment with that. For example, we have certain things like if I give here a ENDL, that means end of the line, and I can run the code. It will be again the same thing, but this time the next line which comes, it will shift to the bottom line. So it is end of the line means here the line has ended. You can carry on with the next line. That is what it means. Now over here, I did tell you this about using namespace std. What does it do? If by chance I don't give this, for example, I'm not using this particular thing. So what I have to do is I have to write a namespace in each and every line like this. If I run the code right now, it will run. So if by chance I don't write this, then it will be an issue. Some compilers may give us an error. So I can write std in this way in every single line, or the best way to do it is write this one time and you don't have to write it in the entire program anywhere else. So this will be if you have used namespace one time, that's it for the whole group. Now, if I have to give you a quick idea about what I did over here, first thing we did is including the header file, which is hashtag include iostream.h. Here, hashtag is the preprocessor directive. Include means I'm including an header file. Name of the header file is iostream.h. What does iostream means? It is input output stream. So whenever you're doing any kind of input or output, like for example, we're doing on line number 7, that is we're outputting something. So iostream is required. Then we came to the using namespace, which is an optional thing. You can write it, which is a good practice so that you don't have to use it in any part of the program. You can just write it once using namespace. Then came the main function, which is the int main. Whenever you see int main, remember that it will return something. Then we have the cout, that is console out. And in the double quotes, we have written what we need to print or what we need to give as an output. Then we have the ENDL, which is end of the line. That means if a next statement, if we have to print or anything like that, it will come in the next line. If I don't give the ENDL, it will simply start from the same line itself. Then we have the return 0. Int main returns something, but here we don't have to return anything. So I'm telling the compiler that return 0 means you have to return, but return me 0. That means indirectly I'm saying don't return me anything, and I have stopped the code. Now, important thing here is that if you see, I have used curly brackets over here. Whenever the curly brackets start and whenever the curly bracket ends, that is called as the scope of that particular piece of code. So that means if by chance somebody asks you what is the scope of the cout, it is starting from here until here. So that is a basic starting of C++ and how you can print something. I hope you have understood some of the points which I have told you. If by chance you didn't get it, you can put down in the comment section so that I can reply you with the answer you need. Do share this video to all of your friends who want to learn C++. This was the very starting code, and we will continue with this in the next class. That's it for today. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.